Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing today? And welcome to Ask the Expert Show. My name is Gary Cassady. I'm your host, and I've got a very special guest today. He's a longtime student of mine, a gentleman I look up to on a day-to-day basis. I mean, he's just never giving up and moving forward. And I'm going to bring Orrville Barnes on the screen. Orrville, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, Gary. Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am wonderful. So, welcome to the show, Orrville. Thanks you being
Thanks
on,
for having
and I appreciate you kind of sharing your story and stuff.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So, kind of what I like to do is just start off and just get a little bit of background about you, Orrville, and then we'll kind of go into some questions. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and how long you've been here in the United States, and
Well, my name is Orrville Barnes. I'm 28 years old. I'm married. I'm from Jamaica. Um, I'm living here 6 years now. Um, I was a student in the University of Technology in Jamaica. Migrated here because of family, my wife. Um, um, I've been investing in real estate for the past 6 years, living here 6 years. So pretty much, I got introduced into real estate as soon as I got here.
yeah. So you got a pretty unique story. I mean, you've got a lot of family back in Jamaica still, and you've moved here to the United States. And what made you decide? Because I think you were trying to like hustle with buying and selling cars or something like that, wasn't it? When you first got here?
Yes. When I came here, as I said, I don't have any family here
Mhm.
I have family here in the States, but not here in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So when I came here, I had to, as a man, you have to figure out how to make ends meet. So we had a mutual friend who buy and sell cars. So at that time, I thought, that would be the best option I had to get involved in that to, have a little bit of income come in. But
Yeah.
that wasn't really my passion to buy and sell cars, which it's similar house cars, but I rather houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
that,
now, when you first got into the real estate, I mean, you had to really hustle at the very beginning because you didn't have money to put down on properties and buy houses and credit and things of that nature, correct? Like how did
absolutely,
that?
I didn't have nothing. I had nothing. Actually, when I got introduced to real estate, I was actually in a really bad spot in my life where I had no money. I had nothing. I was at zero basically. I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm married. Um, I have my wife, a kid, and nothing from Jamaica. At that time, I'm an immigrant, by the way. I'm on at that time I was on my visa legally,
Mhm.
but I was on my visa. So
Yeah.
I literally did not have nothing, like absolutely nothing to start with, to come up with nothing at all. And at that time, that we had you and I had a mutual friend. We had mutual training partners,
Yep.
and my trainer, who is also a Jamaican, he knew my drive and my fire that I have. He didn't know that I knew anything about selling houses, and just being a friend, he looked out for me and said, I know somebody who I think is in real estate, because he heard you know, my desire
Mhm.
to be in that field, and he introduced me to his student, which is your wife, which is training at the same gym that we were going, and the it was history. The rest was history.
Yeah.
I guess she saw the passion, and then I got the opportunity to meet you at that time, and then
Mhm.
the rest was history. I literally didn't even have money to start the mentorship, and
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. I don't know why you gave me that chance at that time,
Yeah.
but you did. You really took it. You rolled the dice on me, and I think it paid off a lot for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it paid off great. I mean,
Yes.
I love seeing people grow, and it's not necessarily, I mean, yeah, I charge for a mentoring program,
Yes.
but that's very minimal. I mean, what I make on on real estate side, but
Yes.
it's
Yes.
more or less like a
Yes.
small commitment to
Yes.
get you guys as individuals to start moving
Yes.
and taking action. So,
Yes.
but
Yes.
tell us about your first deal, Orville. I mean, how what was that like getting into the real estate? you came to me and you wanted to kind of wholesale and flip properties, and you were even telling me like, oh, you had these big dreams of building properties like in Jamaica and everything, man, when we first came, so
Yes.
Tell us about your first deal.
Okay, so I met you in December like 2015.
Yep.
When I met you, we had a conversation where you're trying to figure out what I really want to do and all that stuff. And after we figured out, yes, we're going to, this is something definitely I want to do. After I started working with you, within my first 30 days after working with you, I acquired my first property. And that property was pretty unique because in real estate, everybody thinks you have to have money and you have to have all these things to get started.
Mm-hmm.
That first deal I had no money in that deal. No money in that deal. That deal ended up being a rental property, right? The only money I had in that deal was a couple $100, which was closing costs. Yep. And I ended up keeping that property for almost 4 years. 4 years. Mm-hmm. And that property that we didn't have money in, I ended up sold that property for like $45,000 4 years later.
Yeah.
After that first property, within 45 days after meeting you, I got my second deal. Now, this is a little bit different. This one was a wholesale deal. I literally didn't have no money in that deal. We literally got in and out in that deal in less than 10 days. And we made like $17,000 off that first wholesale deal. And the rest was history. I continued. I realized the method worked. That's when I realized the method really worked, because I was still in doubt. I was in a dark place. I didn't have nothing going on, and then here you come telling me, oh, you can have this big successful life if you. So I believed, but I was more in this stage of where I wouldn't want to say denial, but I was in the stage where I want to see it before I can put my heart in. And thank God it was fast. It was sooner than later. It was sooner than later.
So now, going back, looking at your first deal, you literally had $200 into renting it out for, it was close to like 3-4 years, right? Or something like that.
Yes. We're renting it for like what, 900, something like 850, 900 a month.
So yeah. And it was a small house.
Small house.
Now, when you first got in, the market was not nearly as hot as it is, the last like 12 months or, last 2 years. Yes. And so, these wholesale deals and stuff that we were getting into back when you first started, we were making money off of them, but not like some of the money you were able to make, 2018, 19, things of that nature. So,
yes.
Now, you've done some pretty creative deals. Yourself, Orrville. So tell us one about like the dump truck.
All right. So I had this wholesale. It was a client who had some properties for sale. She had like 5-7 properties. So when I acquired those properties on the contract, I acquired all 7 on the contract. I wholesaled 2 properties, and I had a property. One of the buyers of the who I wholesaled 2 other properties to, he's a trucker. So he had more interest in buying properties, but at that time he just bought a property from me. So he, his finances were a little bit, shooken up, I guess, in my opinion. I had desire in being in the trucking business. So I was asking him, while he was looking at my property, I was inquiring about the trucking business. And then he saw my interest. So him seeing my interest, he said, hey, I have a truck for sale. I said, really? I said, I have a property for sale. And right there and then, we made a fair exchange. We made a trade. I gave him the property and I took his dump truck. And today, that dump truck is, back home working, giving me more dump trucks. Yes.
You literally sent this dump truck.
Yes. And now that dump truck is there working, making me money by the hour till this day. I'm planning to buy more dump trucks with that one.
Yeah.
And that's from acquiring the wholesale properties, wholesale. So I literally I have no money in that dump truck. Literally.
Yep. You didn't have any money in the properties.
Period. I had no.
You got a call, and then you got these properties in contract. So, that's a pretty good deal. Now,
Great deal.
didn't you make a little bit of money off the deal itself? Like you got some cash and a dump truck or something like that?
Yes, I wholesaled them the first property for $22,000. So I got the $22,000 plus I got the dump truck from him, and also I still had two more properties because it was five properties. So I
Okay.
ended up, it was still a great deal.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's a crazy. Now tell us about why in the heck would you send a dump truck from the United States to Jamaica? I mean, I would have never even thought of that, to be honest with you. And I know you always say, "Hey, let's go invest in Jamaica and do some stuff," but like, how do you get a dump truck to Jamaica? I mean, because now to put this in perspective, this is not like a little truck. I mean, he sends me Orrville. You sent me this picture or video of what I thought was a semi truck. And like you're showing me the video of this thing, and this thing looks extremely nice. It looked like a brand new truck when you got it.
Pretty much.
He goes, "Guess what I just got?" And I get this video of this dump truck, semi looking thing, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" And then you said all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm going to get in some trucking business." I'm like, well, what? I thought maybe you're going to like deliver like coal or gravel or something here in the States, and then next thing I know, you're like, "Oh, I just shipped this thing to Jamaica." So tell us how that all came about. Like,
as you know, my family, my mom and dad, my sisters, brothers. Well, one brother is in Guyana. My mom and dad, they're all in Jamaica. So the heart is really home. You know what I mean? And in Jamaica, my plan and my goal is to do as much as I can to create as much jobs, help as much young Jamaicans like myself to show them that there's another route, another path, and there's actually possibilities for us here. So the main goal with me send that truck back home is really to create jobs. First of all, the money will come, but the main part of it is to create some opportunities down there. That was the main intention, And at that time, my dad and I, we had acquired a property in Jamaica. So it's something where we need that. It's a good business. Construction is a good business back home. It's really a good business. So that's really where the drive came from, to send it back home, to really create more jobs for them, and then to get myself started, because I really want to go back home to really help as much as I can, because I think, the way how I came and the way how, I met you, I think there's a lot more people here who has the same opportunity, but they don't know that it's really possible. So I want to try to give them that. If I help one person to at least see that it's actually possible to actually come from nothing to be something, that I'm good with that. I'm good with that, especially a young Black Jamaican like myself. That's really my goal. That's where it came from, and that was just a start to get some started in Jamaica, sending that dump truck.
Yeah. Now, since you've been here in the States, I mean, your English has gotten significantly better. When I first met you, I mean, you had a lot more Jamaican, traditional Jamaican accent and everything.
Yes.
And so, I know that was one of the struggles that you thought you were going to have. People not believing in you, or like because of your accent and things of that nature, you didn't think people would actually talk to you a whole lot.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Yes. When I came over here, I was even scared to talk to potential clients. You can remember I had you doing all the talking for me. Yes. But I guess after being here, because I was fresh from Jamaica, I was fresh. I just got here. I literally just got here. So, I have been traveling back and forth in the States with my family, but I just literally lived here. So my accent was a 100. I didn't know you understood me when I was talking, to be honest with you. I tried to talk as slow as I possibly can back then.
Yeah.
But it's significantly changed.
Yeah. Now you're not just sending, I mean, you're giving back to your hometown and your family, and you're helping them out as well back in Jamaica. But you're not just sending like money. You're sending the dump truck. I think you even sent some like floor cleaners or something like wasn't that?
Yes, it was some buffer machines, some floor
buffer machines. Yeah.
Yes.
So like you're using the skills that you've been taught, like in wholesaling, and essentially and then your past skills of dealing with cars and things of that nature. You're using that to basically get a free dump truck in a sense.
Exactly.
sending it back, and then you're using it with other materials. So, I mean, that's all. I'm proud of you for giving back to your home, home country, your home city.
Exactly.
So,
Uh, Another way of looking at that too is if I give it's easy to give them money to send them money, but
mhm.
if I'm creating jobs, or if they're seeing tangible stuff that's being made or being done by
Yeah,
me at a young age, I think that would spark the light bulb more to have that young kid come ask me saying, "What are you doing?" or "How are you doing this?" And
yeah,
that can have me know, enlighten them and share what I'm doing with them, so that can hopefully send off the light bulb in their head.
absolutely. Now, your family wasn't 100% on board with you getting into the real estate business when you first started.
My mom was. My dad was. My dad was not on board with me. Period. Moving to the
Yeah,
U.S. because he thought that I had everything. Well, which he think that he has everything set in stone for me there. Which he did. He did. He
mhm.
did pretty good for himself. But I saw myself a little bit bigger. Not say bigger. I saw myself want to expand.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep,
So he didn't see that because my dad is more old school, hard, hard head, So he
yeah,
didn't see that. He's like, you have no reason to go to the US in a world where you're by yourself. And my drive was saying, no, I need to expand because we're all here. Yes, we're good, but there's more, you know.
yep,
So I stepped outside of the box without his, approval pretty much. Because
yeah,
I think in my opinion, I was saying I finished college, I finished university, so I think I did your part. No, it's my part.
yep.
So that's when I stepped out of the box. He wasn't happy he wasn't happy, period, because he's thinking, I'm
Well, he's
making
essentially losing his son.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So me coming over here, that was the biggest chip on my shoulder.
yeah,
I have to make this work. I have to make it work.
yep,
And I did, and that's why I want to, tell my story now so that a lot of people know that they have it in them, can do it. Don't be
mhm,
scared. Sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's
yep,
your mom, sometimes it's your sis, sometimes it's even your own significant other, your wife,
yep,
your husband. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
once you have that in you where you feel that gut feeling and something that you want, go do it.
Yep,
Do it. You never can tell what's going to change your life. And I'm glad I made that decision because real estate is what changed my life, and
yep.
I'm happy. I'm at the best. I'm happy.
Yeah. Now you could have had a really good life in Jamaica. I mean, you got, a
Yes.
lot of great connections, your
Yeah.
family's had some businesses, and
Yeah.
you pretty much had everything that you could have wanted in Jamaica, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I met both your parents and they're both great
Yes.
people and they've
Yes.
done a great job raising you.
Yes.
And they could have pretty much handed you everything that you wanted for the most part.
Yes. Yes.
But then you moved here and didn't have anything, and you started
Nothing.
from scratch.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
now you guys are starting to, or essentially finishing. It's a hotel Airbnb? What is that that you're finishing in Jamaica?
Well, my dad, we have it's like we're building like a huge superstore.
Okay.
It's completed. It's pretty much completed. We're actually using it for like storage, right? 'Cause we currently have a mini mart, like a supermarket in Jamaica. So
Okay.
we're currently using it for like storage right now for the supermarket at this point
Hmm.
because I'm not there 100 right now with my dad to really steer a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so we're in the stage right now. We're still trying to figure out what exactly are we going to do with it,
Hmm.
which we know exactly what we want to do, but we want to create a business where it's self-sustainable in terms of like it runs itself because I'm not going to be there right through
Hmm.
right now, which I
Yeah.
have, sisters and mom is there, but they need, I think they need more help, so we're
Yeah.
trying to figure out which direction we're going to go, how we're going to delegate it. And that's where we're at with that. And behind it, we acquired another property behind that building where we're
Hmm.
thinking to do some rooms. Hopefully we can have like up to 50, 75 doors, we're going to do rental property.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. I'm trying to acquire as much properties as I can right now
Yeah.
in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now let's jump back to the States here. Now you're flipping houses, you're wholesaling houses. Tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you've done here in the States.
I've flipped a few houses. I've
Mhm.
wholesaled a few houses too. Biggest wholesale deal. You know about this deal. The biggest one I've done was that one was a 2 property wholesale flip. I acquired
Yeah.
a property. Actually, you were the one who told me about that neighbor. I called you up and
Yeah.
I asked you. I
You
was
said
like,
you called me up and said, "Hey, what do I do?" I said, "Why don't you go market in this area over here? It's a kind of an up and coming area." And like 2 days later, you like called me and said, "Hey, I got this property, these properties in contract. The owners like this side by side like property. That was almost like a duplex or something, but they were
yes, it
two
was
separate properties.
two
And
separate properties.
yeah, and we were going to flip them. We had private money lined up, and we were
Yes.
going to flip them. And next thing I know, you call me and said, "Hey, I got someone that wants to buy these." I'm like, "Okay, well, if, we were going to flip them, but then all of a sudden, he's like, well, they want to pay this amount for it." And I said, "Well, let's sell."
Yes,
You know,
yes.
how much did you make off that deal, Orville?
We actually acquired those properties for $20,000, and we ended up sold those property. We ended up made it 80,000 off those properties in less than 10 days.
Yeah, that was in contract and sold with check in your hand.
Yes,
within less than 10 days.
Less than 10 days. I mean, in less than 10 days, I had a check in my hand for almost $70,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's freaking, that is like, it's unheard of,
Yes.
I mean, so first started wholesale. When I first got into the wholesaling business, I don't do a lot of wholesaling now, more of like flips and, buying holds, but, we would wholesale, make 3 to 5, maybe 10,000 on a big deal. Right. And, now I'm making 20 and 30,000 each whole property. So, but that's not, I mean, you've made big deal. That's your biggest deal, but you've had other deals for 20, 30, and 40,000 though, right?
Yes. That's my biggest wholesale deal. Yes. That's my biggest wholesale deal. Yes. I have deals for 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 10. It's not always like that. I have deals for 7. I even got, listen, this one, I don't remember if I told you this one with the property I acquired, for $500. Did I tell you that one?
I don't think so.
So I acquired I got a call for a property. I'm gonna tell you where it is too. It's off Cleveland Avenue, off 17th Avenue.
Okay.
I got a call for a property off Cleveland Avenue, and I heard they wanted 15,000. That's what I heard on the phone. It was a fire burnt property. I'll try to go fast. It was a fire burnt property. I went to look at the property. It was a good property for the $15,000, to be honest with you. So talking to the client and all that stuff, I heard he said 1,500. So I was like, "You want 1,500 or 15,000?" He said 1,500. So learning from the best, I immediately negotiated. I was like, "Would you do 5?" He was like, "It's lower than what I want, but I want to get rid of it." Signed the contract for $500. The house, I signed the contract for $500. After I signed it, negotiated for 500. In less than 2 weeks, I sold that house for 7,500.
Nice. That's awesome. Now,
so I thought that I was getting a house for 15,000.
Yeah.
When it's actually 1,500.
Yeah.
Which I really could have held on to it and sold it for the 15,000. But I don't need to get greedy. Just sell it, move on. I made 7,000 off it, and keep it going. And I thought,
I mean, you're actually helping the guy out too.
Exactly.
You were able to, find a buyer for the house. Now, you could have only made maybe a couple $1,000s off of it as well. Yes. But, with the market right now, Orrville, I mean, people are paying a lot higher prices for houses and things of that nature. So, but, I actually had a guy give me a house one time. I went to this seminar one time and I heard people saying, "Oh, hey, I've gotten like free houses." And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I've never heard of the thing. And I think I've got 3 now that people actually just signed over to me. But and I was able to turn around and sell them and make money. A lot of times I'll maybe just clean up the yard or, put a little bit of money into it. And sometimes we don't do anything. So, what is it? What's making you so successful? What is that? What does that look like to you?
Me, I think it's because I realized that I needed to grow that layer of skin of rejection to not be able to get in my feelings and overcome the bad times, just
Mhm.
overcome the negativity, overcome. I think that's my biggest tool that I use to become successful, growing that thick layer of skin, to
Mhm.
hearing the no's, hearing you can't do it, having the families fighting against you, having your own pulling you back. I think it's growing that layer of skin where it's either sink or swim. And I
Mhm.
know my purpose. My purpose is for my family, for my country, and for myself. So because of that, I just try to have that layer of skin where I don't let nothing bring me down. I just try to be as positive as I can in the darkest situations. And that's when I think it's after we had that deep conversation, that's when I did that self-reflection. And then
Mhm.
I think that's when I really started to see the universe. It started aligning itself for me.
Yeah. So, well, sometimes you do have to make those tough decisions, and have kind of like a heart to heart with yourself on, what's it going to take to be successful,
Yes.
and get to the next level. So, I'm very proud of you, and you're doing a very good job, and keep up the good work, man. So,
Appreciate
yeah.
that. I appreciate that.
So, what's new, in Orrville? What's your next? What are you doing next? What are you doing now? Where are you going?
Well, right now I'm trying to get more into trying to teach, as I was trying to tell you earlier, trying to help people more.
Uh huh.
So now I'm trying to I try to uplift people, try to teach people that all right, even though we're doing real estate, there's still more things. I use real estate as a vehicle for success.
Hmm.
So that's my main thing that I do, But I invest in multiple businesses. Recently, my
Hmm.
wife and I we just opened a event center before Corona, for like hosting baby showers, wedding reception. It's a nice commercial property, you know.
Yeah.
I'm also a forex trader. I do trading. I have businesses back home in Jamaica. So I use real estate to invest in myself, invest in my knowledge, try to gain more information to try to acquire as much as I can. Because I think one stream of income is too close to none, which don't get me wrong, real estate has multiple ways of earning income.
Yeah.
So I, that's just me, I'm just keep going, trying to venture in new businesses, try to open more business as I go and, try to be the best I could be or can be.
Yep. Yeah. Tell us about your event center. Like, 'cause I know you like literally like in the middle of the pandemic, you're trying to open up this event center for baby showers, and when people weren't even supposed to go out and in public type of scenario. But you're booked until like next year already. Or
Yes, that's a good
yeah.
thing. I thought it was when this pandemic hit, it kind of, it kind of had me thinking for a second. But I started getting bookings before the event center has been done. And currently, every weekend has been booked up to November. And right,
Mhm.
we have dates for next year, February. We have next dates for next year, March. But because why I think, my opinion, why I think it works is because it's more of an intimate type of setting. It's not like for the public, so it's still family, and they're not
Mhm.
home. So that's why I think it's still, it's doing good, and it will be, it's going great.
Yeah.
It's a great little location. It's a great little location.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So what made you guys decide to open up an event center?
It all started with my daughter last year. My wife, we were searching for a spot for our baby shower, and
Okay.
it was a tough search. It was a tough search, and when we find spots, it's either they're not looking right, they're too small, it's too expensive. It was just a tough search. It was really a tough search, and that's when we decided I think it's a good business. And then a couple months after, my wife, we lost a family member, and we started searching for a spot for his repast, and it was a tough search again, you know.
Hmm.
And when my wife's mom found a spot, it was super expensive, and that's when I was like, you know what, we're going to do it. And when we're doing it, we're going to cater for people like us, where they can get a nice event center for a great affordable price, and
Hmm.
they can have a good event. Like I wanted to fill that gap, because I know and I think that's why it's working, because I'm actually catering for the people. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to, I'm actually catering for the people in terms of like I'm giving them way more than what they should, not say should be, but way more than what they would be getting for
Yep.
their money. And we saw that void and we just decided we're going to take advantage of it because, it's a huge market and it's paying off. It's a great decision. It was a great move.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, very good. Well, what's what's some other advice that you would give somebody maybe starting out in the real estate business or entrepreneurship, starting up a business? What would you get? What kind of advice would you give them, Orville?
First advice I would give is believe in yourself. That's the first advice I would give. And believe in whatever you want to do and whatever dreams you have or whatever thoughts you have of the life,
Mm-hmm.
it is possible. First of all, believe it's possible and believe in yourself. Second thing I would recommend is research whatever you want to go get involved in. Try to do a little bit more research and see, try to get as much ups and downs you can. The third thing I would do is find me a mentor. Even if it's just for advice, for questions, but hopefully you could find you one where you can work with in terms of course, the difference with a mentor and advisor is a mentor is actually doing it. An advisor can tell you how to do it, but he's not doing it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you want to find a mentor who's actually active in the field and ask questions and try to get it from there. That would be my first three advice to anybody who's trying to get started.
Okay. That's awesome advice, man. I can't stress enough, the mentor, I have mentors still to this day. And I've had mentors actually all my life. I didn't realize that, I didn't call them mentors, at one time, but they were people that were directing my life and giving me the education that I need and the knowledge that I needed, above and beyond mom and dad type of scenario. So,
yes.
And, I still think those individuals, when I see them to this day and some have actually been long and gone. So, but I still think about them and I can kind of look back and relate of where I was before I met them and where I was after, they, took me under their wing per se. So, man, Orville, you're doing awesome things and I appreciate you being on the show today.
Yes,
we're over our 30 minutes and we're going to kind of cut off here. But again, Orville, you're doing an awesome job. I'm very proud of you. And I look forward to seeing in the next year or 2 years what you're doing in your life because you've got a lot of things going on and you're being a mover and a shaker, man. You're doing it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me. And just all students out there who are seeing this or everybody who's seeing this, just believe in yourself. It's possible. I did it. When I say I did it, I first thought, saying you don't have to have money to do real estate. I thought it was all a myth or all jokes, but I did it. I came here with nothing. I had nothing. I was in the worst position in my life, and I believed, and it worked. I rolled the dice, it worked. So the only thing I could say to everybody who's watching this, just believe in what you're doing, believe in yourself, and just grow that thick layer of skin. You're going to hear no's. You're going to get rejections. It's going to happen. It's a part of life. Just stay strong. Don't give up and just keep pushing.
Yep, absolutely. I can't top those words, man. Just keep going. Never give up. Never give up. Never. So,
never.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you tuning in today, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.